Hello and welcome. It is the completion of the 19th day of October 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades, and all the like within each his own risk and their own reward. We're going to go over Bitcoin dominance, then talk about the Litecoin inverted head and shoulders pattern on the Bitcoin cross, and then talk about poker cheating. In the I have a lot to talk about this. I just found out about this maybe 10 hours ago, 9 hours ago, and I've looked at some footage on it. Incredible. Live poker player, knowing the hands in advance and cheating. And just, I remember you watching a show called America's Dumbest Criminals when I was a teenager or or early adult, whatever. And I have to say that this one, I mean, ingenious in how to do it, but stupid to do it. Anyway, let's go over first Bitcoin. And let me this the whole trading on cryptos. It has been lackluster over the last near 48 hours. I've made one lousy trade. It has just been nothing going on, and I haven't really been putting any videos on it. I earlier today, nah, don't really need to, and I gotta think that the poker and then the head and shoulders pattern on Litecoin is the only reason why I'm doing this one. So we got this line at 69, which represents this level of support. We're resisting it in here. We also can take a look at really just looking at it from like in here at this level, even just build this up a bit higher. Because what happened was going down below this level of support, price action fell quickly, decently below there, and fast back above it. So it's one of those moves where it established that support, which it pierced above here. But as far as just classifying the story, well, I can just even, well, this is resisting or staying a lot of time in an area it spent little time at before. So it quickly went down there to finish off the move from the high much higher. And then it had a lower high rally. And now that's came back to it, it's spent a continuously decent amount of time. But also, because of how I've drawn this line in, we could also see that this high in here, well, we're resisting, at least as of now, this key level. Now, the momentum, when you see something like this, had a decent break 2 days ago on like this at this lower 68 and a third level. So that was an indication. Okay, there's a significant break below. We're probably going to break down below the low, and it hasn't yet, and it may not soon. But it also hasn't failed the negative sentiment in that it broke support, and thus, like I stated here, these level of highs is resisting in this area. But for bullish behaviors to get back over the fact, I mean, it's got to do a lot more than just get above the 69 and a half level. So let me just, I was going to try to eliminate this. How do I delete it? I'll push Control Z until it goes. There. So we look at this on the daily. It's still just grindingly continuing to moving it, making its move lower. Low volatility compared to this higher volatility, and this high volatility is low in general compared to all the stuff that we've been going through. Which again, low volatility. Let's move on to Litecoin next. And we're looking at the cross. I'll put the volume back in now. We're looking at its cross against Bitcoin. A nice set inverted head and shoulders pattern. Hard to see, I suppose. Take a look at the single hour term time frame. Left shoulder. The head in here. And the right shoulder in there. Resistance first established in here. It got upgraded or advanced higher to here. But this level of resistance is still in that exact same area for where price action is currently at now. It had exitation of the 18 at noon today, 12 o'clock. How has it done since that fact? Well, it has corrected magnificently thus far, although it hasn't clearly broken out. It has gotten above this high a couple periods ago, but it is maintaining this move. The 18 is now in this rising situation, and you're at a stage where, okay, now that we've retested this previous level and we're holding it now, and we've been in it for about a little more than a half a dozen periods, that it should at least continue to go up a little bit more. But amongst the head and shoulders pattern, again, you can even take a look at like left shoulder, head, right shoulder again. But regardless of the fact, the reason why an inverted head and shoulders pattern looks so good, which is basically this, is because you're probably in some sort of downtrend. And 80-90% of the inverted head and shoulders patterns are in downtrends or from downtrends. And same thing in uptrends for regular head and shoulders pattern. But for this to happen, obviously what takes place is in a downtrend, you would have made a lower low to make this level. And it's an accomplishment to at least match the previous high because in a downtrend you make lower highs. So if you match the high, okay, that's a good next step. Keyword next step or keywords. Well, one of the next ones is how about make a higher low above that? That's the next step. So this is that higher low above that we talk about in here. And then the next step after that is, well, first, not only do you have to get back to the neckline, but you got to then break the neckline convincingly. So then there's two layers of necklines in here in the sense that you got this one, but then you got the more bigger one above here because I can look at head, shoulders this way, but I can even look at it in the same sort of general way like this as well. So for me, I really want to see a clear break above, we'll call it 68-68 handle. And in doing so, then this thing's got a lot of good potential moving forward. Okay, now into poker cheats. And this I find interesting. Click on a video and then the thing, and then it just shows like bits and pieces of it. That's like cool. I guess it must be a new feature I'm just starting to notice. Mike Postel, top 10 shady hands. Uploaded by Jeff Abowski, who's one of the victims of Mike. And this is old news. And a lot of this, I mean, this is 6 hours ago, so that's technically not. I mean, this guy is, him and Doug Poker going big and trying to expose this person. And again, he's one of the people that would play at the game. And what Jeff would be doing, or Mike rather, who is the person who has been cheating, at least that's what the allegations are looking towards. And like I say, a lot of it seems to be like 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. Number 5, interview with Mike Madiskow in the investigation. Uh, Mike posts cheating first time question mark. Oh, he makes an unbelievable play. Well, when you know the cards, and this is the gentleman they'd be showing here. And well, what he does is the computers, well, this is all computerized, but because it's a televised poker game that you'd see for live streams on the internet. So what they have in the cards is computer chips, which represents what the ranking of the 52 cards is, 6 of spades, whatever, what have you. And therefore, he's found a way to get some sort of, probably he's on a browser, I would think, on the phone. He's on a URL link, and he's gotten some sort of page that he shouldn't have access to, that he does have access to, which exposes every player's hole cards as he's sitting on the table. So he's looking down towards his crotch, basically, over and over in these games, which makes me wonder why it took so long for him to get caught. And I mean, people know the phones are there, and it's not illegal to put your phone in your lap like that, but I mean, that's what's going on. So now, I mean, doing this on the TV cameras in itself, you think is just gotta be stupid, but the stakes of this game are not high stakes. I mean, they're not tiny. He's got like probably a 6-figure game, but definitely not 7 or 8. And that's because he's playing games where people put down you might get $1,000 or $2,000 from somebody at the table, or $500 or $3,000. So he can make a few $1,000s in a day. And he's probably winning like every single day because of the fact. And this guy got a lifetime ban from it, but players who shockingly went broke. Risk reward management for me is always job number one. Ever since I've been able to build up a bankroll, I've had difficult times, I guess, but no, I've never been broke since then. But anyway, that's what I find very, very interesting. You can watch some of these videos, but using a phone, knowing, and just making some plays that you just wouldn't make, that were just, unless, of course, you happen to know what the player's whole cards happens to be. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.